Thanks for joining me. Pull up a chair at the table. Let's talk. You've had enough. Today I want to talk to you about a word that most of us don't think about very often. What is enough? In your life, when you think about what is enough, what's your first thought? Maybe it's related to your income. Maybe it's related to relationships. Maybe it's related to family size. Or maybe you've just had enough. If you think about the word enough, we don't hear it enough. What we hear is the word more. The way I grew up, success was measured on you moving from a starter house to a family house to a larger family house and maybe to that dream house somewhere in the mix. Clearly that has changed as the value of real estate goes up and the value of the dollar goes down. What is enough? When do you declare that it's enough? If you work until you're age 67 and you retire, can you define that the amount that you save will be enough? Is that even possible? I need to be a millionaire. Is that enough these days? Enough's a tough thing to quantify. For us, enough looks like a certain amount of cash flow. Once we have enough cash flow to replace our average monthly expenses, that'll be enough work. When we downsized our house instead of upsizing it, it's because we had enough. When we had 2 kids, and a lot of people around us criticized us for stopping. With our income and with our lifestyle, 2 was enough. If you don't define your enough, there will always be more. Lifestyle creep is incredibly real. It doesn't go away. You get more income, you spend more money. That's how it works. And for all of us, there's some of that. In our story, there's one particular version of enough, though, that made the biggest difference. And that is, when you think about how much money you make in a month and you get a raise, what do you do with the extra? Now, inflation's going to take some of that, of course. And if you have a child, it's going to change that. If you have a kid in college, you know what I'm talking about. That's not easy. Enough changes. But enough is important because at some point, the car you're driving may not feel like enough. The house may not feel like it's big enough. The more we compromise on where those limits are, the longer it will take us to reach a financial stability or to get out of the rat race someday. And so when you think about your enough, it's good to define it early. For us, that came in a couple of stages. One being that we've tried to cap our budget and cap our expenses as much as possible year after year. We've found different ways to do that, but that's allowed us to save and invest a lot more. Having enough in the world of expenses is one way to control how much income you have. The other, of course, being generate more income, which can be very difficult depending on your line of work. So controlling expenses was probably the most important thing for us. We learned new ways of doing things, found new sources for things, compared prices all the time. That helped us achieve enough. As of today, we live in a house that's 1/3 the size of the one we lived in 10 years ago. We are also still living on the same core salary that we lived on 10 years ago. Have expenses gone up? Yes, of course they have. But there's nothing new and extravagant. We've contained that. And as such, I have a degree of autonomy in my 50s that I didn't expect, which is good because in the world of technology, in your 50s, you become a dinosaur, whether you want to or not. You may be fully up to speed, but a little gray hair changes how people see you. So what's your enough? Define it today. Find what the limit is. Adhere to it. Be fairly rigid about it. Sure, splurge. It's life. Don't hold everything close to the chest. But at the same time, be careful. Don't overspend. Live within your means. Find your enough, and later, you'll have enough. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.